Hello, and welcome back to How to Write Properly, a daily course on style and expression with me, Dr. Adam James Smith, broadcasting from my flat during self isolation. The video is slightly different today, you can't see me, and that's because the software that I normally do to record and upload these videos seems to be on the go slow, so I'm just doing this in PowerPoint today. But our episode, part 4, day 4, is all about something called subjects. So you'll remember earlier in this week we've done verbs, which are doing words. We've looked at adjectives, which are describing words. We've looked at nouns, which are naming words. And today we're looking at these things called subjects, which I've alluded to quite a few times in the last 3 days. But today we're going to do a deep dive to find out what this actually is. And what these things are is they are the fabric, they're the bedrock of sentences. If you're writing a sentence, it's because you're conveying information. What that information is about is your subject. So previously on How to Write Properly, we've encountered a few different types of words, but they are specific types of words. So for example, if you look up cashback in the dictionary, this is the Google dictionary, you'll be told immediately that that is a noun. It's a specific type of word, a naming word, the name of a process that happens in a shop or in a bank. Cough. If you looked at the word cough, as many of you may be doing right now, you'll find that cough is a verb, a doing word. To cough is a type of doing. Fit. If you look up the word fit, this is slightly different. It's slightly more complicated because fit is an adjective, a verb, and a noun. It can be used to describe someone or something. If you're in good health, you are a fit person. You'll be described as being fit. It could be a verb. So if I were to fit a cupboard to a door, I'll be using the word fit as a doing word. And also, as it says there at the bottom, it can be used as a type of noun. For example, the dress was a perfect fit. So you're naming the dress as a dress that's a perfect fit. But subjects, if you look up any word in any dictionary, you'll never see the word subject written next to that word in tiny little italics. Because lots and lots of words can be subjects. Entire sequences of words can be subjects, in fact. So it's a little bit different in that regard. So let's look at some definitions. So the first definition of a subject that we're going to look at today. The subject of a sentence is the person, place, thing, or idea that is doing or being something in your sentence. And as we'll talk about in a few seconds, you can find the subject of a sentence if you can find the verb. So your subject is the thing that the sentence is about. Let's have a look at the definition for Key Stage 2 children, little tiny primary school children. They're told that the subject of a sentence is the person or thing doing the action or being described. So again, it's that idea that the subject is the thing that the sentence is about. So look at these examples. Marianne ate the whole cake. So Marianne is the subject of the sentence because she's the one doing the eating. She's the one that's eating that whole cake. Marianne is doing the action, therefore she is the subject. Danny is stacked. Danny is the subject of this sentence. The word stacked there is a word that is a colloquialism that basically means heavily set. So Danny's being described as heavily set, therefore Danny is the subject of the sentence. Slightly more complicated examples here. He kicked the monkey into the sea. So there's two characters in this top sentence. There's the person doing the kicking, the he, and there's the monkey who is being kicked into the sea. So who is the subject? Well, it's the he, because the verb kicked relates to him. He's the one doing the kicking, so it's his sentence. But actually, this is why all of this stuff is really important in terms of style and composition. Because if you wanted to shift the emphasis of that sentence to create more sympathy for the monkey, you could actually make the monkey the subject of the sentence by reshuffling the words a little bit and producing the second sentence. The monkey was kicked into the sea. So the monkey is now the thing that's being. It's being kicked into the sea. So he's the one being acted upon. He is now the subject of the sentence. Some more examples here. The Yellow Pages listed lots of active plumbers before the lockdown. So what's the verb here? The verb is actually the listing of active plumbers. Where is this listing occurring? In the Yellow Pages. So the Yellow Pages is the subject. All cats are plotting your demise. What's the verb? Plotting. Who's doing the plotting? All the cats. The 18th century is the best century. It's a little bit trickier, this one. So what is the thing that's happening? The thing that's been the verb, really? The thing that's happening is that something is being the best century. What's being the best century? The 18th century, because it is. So the 18th century is the subject of the sentence. House party will soon be the most used social media platform of all. So what's the verb there? It's the being used. What's being used? House party. So house party is the subject. So, to recap, if you are proofreading your own work or analysing someone else's work and you need to find the subject, the best thing to do is find the verb, and then you'll find the subject related to that verb, and it will tell you what the sentence is supposed to be about. So, you can ask the question of any sentence: who or what does the action in the verb relate to? So, a little bit more, slightly more complicated examples here. The really important issue of the conference, stripped of all other considerations, is the urgent need to decolonise our curriculum. So I'll give you a second to think about that one and this one as well, which I found on the internet. What he had already forgotten about computer repair could fill whole volumes. So you need to find out what is happening there, what's the doing of these sentences, and then backtrack to work out what the subject is. So for that first one, the subject is actually the issue. It's the issue that when you strip everything of all other considerations, it's the thing that needs addressing. So it's the issue is the subject of that top one, and the bottom one is that entire first bit. What he had forgotten about computer repair could fill whole volumes. So it's not the idea of computer repair. It's not the idea of him forgetting. It's the fact that he's already forgotten about computer repair. And where's the verb? It's fill, the filling of whole volumes. What could you hypothetically fill whole volumes with? Everything he's already forgotten about computer repair. So slightly more complicated examples. Join me again tomorrow when we'll be finishing our first week on basic sentences by looking at what happens when you apply a verb and a subject to build a basic sentence. We'll be thinking about how basic sentences work and what they are and what some of the implications are going to be for next week when we move on to slightly more complicated sentences. But thank you very much for listening, and I look forward to seeing you all tomorrow, where hopefully my regular software will be working as usual. Bye for now.